Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott. On today's video, I'd like to do a quick update as to what channel changes are planned for 2025. But before I get started, I just want to wish everybody a happy, healthy, prosperous new year. So with that, let's jump right into the changes. I started this channel a little over a year ago, primarily to talk through a variety of items that have been on my mind. The channel ended up evolving into a discussion around carnivore and a variety of other uh, um, anecdotal topics. That wasn't really my intent. So for 2025, I'm going to purge most of the content that's on the channel. I will leave some of the updated content from from carnivore, from some of my trips. That'll be in some of the different playlists. But I'm going to basically do a restart and really use the channel for 2025 primarily as my own daily journal um, of what's going on every day as I count down to retirement. My goal is to retire by the end of 2025, and so I thought, for my own kind of personal reflection in the future, uh, and to hopefully help some of you along the way, I'm going to talk through a variety of things that's coming up on a day by day basis as I move forward through the year, getting closer and closer to my retirement at year end. And like the first things would be, today, as an example, I downloaded all of my financial numbers for the conclusion of 2024. I bought the necessary binders and stuff to break out and catalog all of my expenses, um, all of my investments, etc. Break it out for each of the prior years that I had, as well as what's going forward into 2025. Um, I put together a new blanket spreadsheet for capturing all of my expenses going forward in 2025, and I'll be analyzing my expenses for 2024. I've also made changes to my contributions to a 401k and Roth 401k as of today, so they'll take effect for the 2025 year. And many of you may be surprised to learn that I actually reduced my 401k contributions, traditional 401k contributions, down to 2%, and I completely eliminated my Roth contributions for 2025. And I'm taking the money that would have been going into those contributions, and I'm having that go directly into a, um, a brokerage account where the money will basically build up a cash cushion over the calendar year 2025 that'll be able to be used for some flexible spending that I'll need as I transition into retirement, so that I can control my taxes in the first year of retirement and obviously moving forward, but to be able to still get credit, assuming they still exist, at the end of 2025 for the Affordable Care Act and the health care that I'll need to bridge the gap before I am eligible for Medicare. Um, I want to be able to leverage those credits, and so to do that, I have to be able to manipulate the amount of household income that is shown to be able to take advantage of those credits. And then once I'm Medicare eligible and I don't have to worry about the credits anymore, then I can do some 401k or I guess should say Roth conversions from my traditional 401k and IRAs over to a Roth IRA. So those are the kind of things that I'm doing today and planning as I move forward. Um, you know, One of the things that I learned was, as many of you know, like, and the old saying goes, "We plan, God laughs." But fundamentally, like, I just updated my wife's plan for Medicare. She was on Humana. They canceled their plans in the area where I live, so she had to move to another plan after checking all of her doctors and such. We ended up moving to an Aetna plan for her. I'm still working, and so obviously I'm on the plan that I have, which for me happens to be Cigna through work. But we were going back and forth because they physically canceled her plans in where I live. She had a one-time chance to revert back to traditional Medicare from a Medicare Advantage plan. And so we were going back and forth analyzing, do we go with a plan G? Do we go with a plan N? Do we stay with Medicare Advantage? And ultimately, we decided to stay with Medicare Advantage because in my area, the cost of a plan G, for example, with all the benefits that you would get from a normal Medicare Advantage plan, ends up costing about $6,000 a year for kind of being all in. So, well, if you have lots of medical conditions, that's a good deal because you can just budget your normal monthly expense of, call it, $500, $550 a month that you just pay, and you're covered. Whereas in a Medicare Advantage plan, you have potentially a premium, maybe not. Then you have your standard $240 Medicare deductible, and then you have the deductible that's associated with, your particular Advantage plan. And you could have a maximum out of pocket on an Advantage plan, depending on which one you choose. For an individual, anywhere I think up to $14,000. I forget the exact amount on hers, but I want to say it was $7,800 that we selected. So I was looking at the difference between, okay, well, 7,800 versus a guaranteed, let's say 6,000, and if she isn't sick, then I could save money versus the 6,000. And so it's a good year versus bad year. Well, as it turns out, I was really scrambling here at the end of 2024 because we went to California to see my son. We both got sick. I got sick first and then started rebounding. But just before we were ready to leave to come home, she got sick in a way that was different than the rest of us. It wasn't just a respiratory infection. So what ended up happening was I flew home from California on the 30th. I arrived back into the Atlanta International Airport about 8 o'clock in the evening. I drove my wife directly to the hospital in our area, to the ER room. And then I got to spend 11 hours in the ER while they ran a battery of tests trying to figure out what was wrong and what they could do to help her. Long story short, she ended up getting discharged with some medications to take care of. And then she has a subsequent referral now that she has to go to another doctor now that we're in the new year. Well, since her Humana plan ended on 12/31 and we exited the hospital on 12/31, all of those costs are going to be associated with her prior year and deductible and what have you. And now anything going forward will move to the new plan and we'll see how that goes. Whereas had we been on, if we had decided that she was going to move on to the new Medicare plan, other than the $240 deductible, she would have been covered for whatever happens going forward. Now we'll just have to see what happens, with the new plan via Aetna. Anyway, these are the kind of activities. Again, I'll just be giving myself and you, if you decide you want to follow along, a daily update as to what's happening, where things are going as I progress down the road towards my retirement. If that sounds like something interesting and you'd like to join along, hopefully you'll subscribe. If you've previously subscribed to me and this doesn't sound like the channel that you want to follow along with, please feel free to unsubscribe. I certainly, while I appreciate your views and your comments, I'm, really looking forward to the channel taking and moving in this particular direction. So if that's not for you, I fully understand and appreciate it. If it is for you, I look forward to chatting with you each evening as I close out my day, moving closer and closer to retirement at the end of 2025. Thanks for stopping by and for watching. Take care.